Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching this video today with me, William Wallace, and my show, William Wallace for America. Today you're going to notice in the background something different from what you've been seeing at the state legislature. You're going to see the Mississippi River over here over my right shoulder, the bridge, the Greater New Orleans Bridge behind me, and right next to me, to my left, to your right, Scott Presler. Thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I can't tell you how happy I am to have Scott on my show today. And if you're watching the video, please share it. Facebook, my YouTube channel, William Wallace for America, WALLIS. Please visit Scott on his sites. But here we are, we're going to get started here. I got some questions for Scott because I want to give people a chance to get to know Scott. Whether you're having him come to an event, you're looking to support him, I think he's definitely somebody that you want to get to know, which is what we're going to do in today's video and on my podcast if you just want to listen at any podcast app. So Scott, where are you from originally anyway?
I was born in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. I'm a native Floridian.
That's pretty, so, and then from what I understand from hearing, it's a military family, so even though you're from Jacksonville Beach, Florida, you're from all over the place really because you've been traveling too.
Oh yeah, at this point I just call America my home.
I love that. That's a great way to put that. Where you're from? I'm from America. So what's your background in before you got started with your mission, which we're going to talk about in a second?
Graduated from George Mason University, 3.63, criminal justice. Couldn't find a job, started walking dogs for a living, worked at an elementary school, and President Obama inspired me, and I decided, okay, I'm not going to complain about the situation, I'm going to do something. And it launched me on this path to political activism and forever changed my life. But ultimately, I was the deciding person that had to make that change in my life. I had to understand that I had to make that decision to do something different, to make a change in my life.
I like that because you're not saying, "Hey, look, I've got this background." You're not justifying it or asking people to forgive it in any way. You're saying embrace it like you have and use it as a tool to be able to find ways to help yourself succeed and others succeed.
Certainly. And
I like that. That's what we like more people to do. First of all, before I ask the next question, which is another question, how tall are you?
6'5".
I love that. So if you've watched my show, you see I've had some other tall people on the show too. What was a pivotal point in your life that made you who you are?
Definitely getting bullied when I was younger. I think that prepared me for politics because you cannot be in this business unless you have thick skin, and people are very cruel. As I've become an adult, I found that the bullies of my childhood very much never grew up. Those people are now some of the politicians that we see in today's government. They're the same, kind of bullies that will call you a racist, xenophobic, bigot simply if you have a different policy than they believe in. And so now I want to thank the bullies of my childhood because they created the strong, independent man that you see today. And, I'm not a victim. I'm a victor because I choose to be a victor. And I'm not going to let my past define my future.
I love how you put that. I love how you put the fact that the people that bullied you in school made you who you are. You became a victor through it. But how some of those same bullies then are using the narratives of today to bully people in a different kind of way, in a unique way to further their agenda today. Based on, which was different than the agenda they had when you're in school, of course. But they've used the same techniques to bully people, and then of course they want to blame bullies today, which they're themselves doing it.
Hypocritical. Exactly.
I'm glad you said that. So what makes you a conservative? What are the values that makes you a conservative?
I think in its foundation is that I believe in the Constitution. If you're a conservative, if you're a Republican, that means that ultimately you believe our foundation as a country is being a constitutional republic, right? We're not a democracy. We are a republic that is defined by the Constitution. And you see under Democratic rule under President Biden, he said that no amendment to the Constitution is absolute. And I believe that's dangerous. I believe that's reckless. And quite frankly, I think that's an assault on each of our liberties, being citizens under a constitutional republic where we have the right to free speech, have the right to practice freedom of religion, have the right against unreasonable searches and seizures, have the right to a speedy trial. Women have the right to vote. And so when Joe Biden says that no amendment to the Constitution is absolute, he's assaulting and attacking every single one of those rights. And ultimately, that's why I'm a conservative. I believe in the Constitution.
I completely agree with you. I've done a podcast on that myself, and I've done some other podcasts where I've talked about how conservative values unite more people than we realize. You know, conservative values know no race, no religion, no political party. Conservative values actually transcend all groups of people, and you've just proven, made a great point how when you use the Constitution as a conservative value, that's something that transcends the same thing. No party, no religion, just everybody can share that same value.
It's true.
And they don't even realize it. I love that. So talk to me about what are the values that you share with most Americans? That'd be different of conservative values.
Well, what does it mean to be a Republican? And I said this the other night at our event. No vaccine passports, no mask mandates, open our schools, open our businesses, fund the police, defund the government, protect women's sports, support Second Amendment sanctuary cities, balance the federal government, stop giving money to countries that hate our guts.
Right.
I think these are all common sense, conservative solutions. Fair trade, not free trade. Why are we going to not tariff other countries that are imposing tariffs on us, and then we're going to continue to do business with those countries, basically allowing them to rip us off?
Right.
That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I believe in competition ultimately. So for example, Joe Biden wants to raise the corporate tax. How does that make sense that you want to raise the corporate tax, that President Trump, by the way, made our corporate tax lower than China,
he sure did,
making us more competitive to actually bring business into our country, as opposed to a higher corporate tax? Where are you going to go? If China is lower and America is higher and you're a business, where are you going to do business? You're going to deal with China. That's just called logic. That's called common sense. And so I don't understand, other than Joe Biden being a puppet for China, why he would want to hurt American businesses and raise the corporate tax if other than he was bought and paid for by China. But everything that I mentioned, how could I also failed to mention secure the border. That's a big one. And
it's amazing how many people unite on all of these things that you're talking about. And it's amazing how few people that don't believe this make the people like us who unite on this feel like we're wrong for uniting on these things.
Yeah, but we don't do a good job of articulating our viewpoints, and we don't do a good job of being unapologetic in asserting our conservative beliefs. We need more people to speak out on these things unabashedly, and then we're going to make a bigger impact once we do that.
And that's what I like, how outspoken you are about this. And I want to point out to people who are watching the video or listening to it on the podcast that this is something that you travel the country because you really, not only do you believe in it, but you show others how they don't have to be ashamed, and you show others how they can get involved, and you do it in a way that seems easy and seamless, and you inspire people to do that. And I wish more people would see your presentations because of that. You know, you really are spreading a message that gets people that feel they don't have a voice, or people that feel like they have to be afraid to have a voice. You show these people that they don't have to be afraid, and that it's easy. And I love that about you.
Thank you.
Now, how is it that you make it so easy, though? How is it that you have learned to do that?
I believe in it. I couldn't sell something that ultimately I don't believe in. And I think that's why, without sounding egotistical, because that's not my goal, I think I'm successful and I think I'm good at this because truly this is in my heart.
It's in your heart.
I love our country. I believe in these values and I'm able to quote unquote sell it because it just comes naturally. If you tell the truth, you don't have to lie.
Exactly.
And if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory either.
Yeah, it's instant recall. Now, the answer to this question might overlap a little bit, but where did your passion start? Did it start with a love of country, a love of conservatism? Did it start for a love of freedom? Where did your passion really start?
I don't know. It's been like an evolution, but I think ultimately it comes from, at least for right now, I'm very thankful to have a huge social media platform. So the thing that keeps me going when I'm just exhausted and I'm just even discouraged after the election results, or I'm listening to all of the pundits who are saying that MAGA is dead and conservatism can't win. The thing that keeps me going is I feel a moral responsibility. And when I do all this traveling, people always thank me and they are grateful that I'm continuing the fight. And so I feel a responsibility to the people that have uplifted me and who have given me a voice that I simply just can't stop. And so I imagine that I'll be doing this pretty much the rest of my life. And in part, it's because I feel like if I give up, then who's going to speak out? Who's going to do this work? Because right now I see so many are willing, just like Baltimore, to point the finger at a problem, but who actually is going to solve it? Who actually is going to do it?
Right.
And so if not me, then who?
What I think is really important, and what I keyed into, and I like for other people to key into, that what you said was the word responsibility.
I do.
That when I asked you what kicked off your passion, and your answer wasn't conservatism, patriotism, freedom, it was responsibility. And I think that's an even bigger word than those other words when you talk about that, because it's that personal responsibility that I feel for not only my own actions, but when I feel responsible for my own actions, it also drives me to help others feel that same responsibility. If we share that sense of responsibility with others and get them to act on that, imagine that personal responsibility, everybody acting on that. I love that. A lot of people are using freedom and liberty and conservatism, and you chose responsibility, and I think there's a lot to say about that.
Thank you.
I really do. I think it's a good thing to teach everybody, and that's what you're doing. When you saw your speech just last night. That's something I get out of it, is that you're teaching people how to take personal responsibility for not only themselves, but for their communities, and act on it
they
in a way.
They can't count on me to do it.
Right.
You got to help. I'm only one person.
Right.
I can't do this alone.
But you feed off of their energy in a positive way.
I do.
To give that sense of responsibility back to them. I think that's really, really important. So talk to me a little bit of why you pick up trash. I know this has been kind of I'm going to use a jokingly term, a side hustle almost, if you will, kind of a side thing that you did, but it's actually become a more predominant thing. And I want to have a unique question. Is it because you want to show people that you're invested, or does it show people that you're willing to get rid of the old and leave the new better than what you found it?
Well,
which is what we should all be doing for the children in our country.
Well, it does a couple things. President Trump inspired me to do it. I've been cleaning up trash for years. I hadn't done anything on a large scale, nationwide level, but President Trump inspired me to do the Baltimore cleanup, and it changed my life. And it wasn't just about the personal responsibility. It wasn't just about the act of cleaning up our cities, which I think is quite indicative of the fact that our government is neglecting our cities, is abandoning our cities, and also shows the lack of, I hate to say it, personal responsibility of some of the citizens to help their communities and do it themselves. But I simply went in as an American citizen, an ordinary guy without funding, without the backing of the government.
Right.
And I just said, okay, I'm gonna do it myself. And then after I did it and we were successful, I realized a couple things. Number one, the majority of people in the world, in the country, I think are good people,
right.
99%, and they want to do good. But a lot of people, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, I think have to see other people lead first in order for them to be guided in that direction. And so I continue to lead because I can continue to see the fruits of that labor, that other people are being directed to do these acts of good, these acts of love, and every day I get more people. Scott, I go out and pick up trash because of you. Scott, I go out and do this because I've been inspired by your efforts. So, but I think it's huge because the Democrats believe in the Green New Deal, and the Democrats say they care about the environment, but if they really care about the environment, then why does LaGuardia Airport, where AOC lives and represents that district, is there trash everywhere? Why is Houston in a state of disarray with lots of trash? Why is Philadelphia, with all due respect to my Philadelphia people out there, called Filth-adelphia? Why is San Francisco in such a state of decay that people are defecating on the streets?
I know, it's horrible.
Why is Los Angeles, a place called Van Nuys out there, an area where we picked up 50 tons of trash? Every area I just mentioned is under Democratic rule, by the way. And so if Democrats really care about the environment, then why is it taking a conservative activist to do their work for them? So it's a couple of things. I want to inspire people. I want people to take personal responsibility. And ultimately, I want to show the hypocrisy that if you really care about something, then don't just point a finger, do it.
I love it. It's a personal responsibility, community responsibility. We start in our communities, fix our communities. This is another good thing, is that when we fix our communities, we fix our states and we fix our country. You know, and I love the fact that you brought up that, you know, that one party wants to take, they want to take control of things by saying they're for the environment, when people like yourself who are spreading conservative values that more people can unite on is spreading something else that we can all unite on. Whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, we can all unite on wanting a cleaner environment, and you're showing them it doesn't matter what party you're on. We can all be members of the same community, take our responsibility, and actually improve things by actions instead of narratives.
Yes, sir.
I like that. I really like that. So what sparked you to go on your mission?
From all of the above.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here to win. I want to win the House. I want the Senate. I want the White House. I want to elect good conservative constitutionalist politicians. Period.
So when people go to your events, and this is important because this is an important part of the video, because not only do I want people to know about his events, but I'm going to give you the opportunity also to talk about how people can get a hold of you, your social media accounts, because I really feel that I think you're just at the very beginning of how big not only you can become, but how big your movement can be. And I think our countries will look back and thank somebody like you for actually putting yourself out there and being somebody that does it. You know, granted, we have other people doing it, but you're doing it.
Well, I don't want them to thank me, and I know you're being nice. They can thank me by putting in the work. That, you know, a lot of people, they're so nice. They're so ingratiating. They go above and beyond to thank me. But if you really want to thank me, do something.
Yeah.
Call your legislators. Run for school board. Run for city council. I just want you to be an active participant in the country that you love in order to secure the country that you love. But I want you to do something. Don't just thank me because I'm putting in the work. You put in the work. And no, I'm just laser focused. Listen, if we are going to secure America's freedom, we have to win in 2022. And I'm very discouraged by what I'm seeing happening under the Biden administration now in 2021 under his leadership. Excuse me for saying that word, for lack of a better term. And the only thing that we can do is we need to push back, and we push back by winning governorships. We push back by harnessing power at the state and local level. We push back by having a 40-year plan. So we need to start taking over the education system and school boards. And ultimately, in order to be able to stop 11 million illegal immigrants from getting citizenship, in order to protect the filibuster, in order to stop the unconstitutional measure of DC becoming a 51st state and Puerto Rico becoming a 52nd state, which of course the Democrats want because they want to forever harness the power of the Senate under Democratic rule. And that means that Republicans must have a decisive, overwhelming victory in 2022. And if that happens, President Trump will announce his re-election effort going into 2024.
And also, what I like that you pointed out too, is you also like to show people how to register to vote.
I do. Yeah, I love registering voters. It's fun. And it's something that literally is empowering you. If you do not raise your voice, you are allowing other people to speak for you. It's as simple as that. If I allow you to speak and I don't have that opportunity, I'm empowering you. I'm uplifting you. I'm raising you up. And so therefore, I want people to register to vote, because unless they are voting, they are giving away their power willfully and freely to other people. And so in my presentations, I teach people how to run for office, election integrity, how to lobby their legislators effectively and efficiently, and last, how to register voters for all 50 states. So it doesn't matter if you're in Louisiana or Texas or California or New York. I teach you how to register voters in addition to all of the regulations, rules, etc.
And I like how you simply put just register people to vote, because I think that when you register someone to vote and you let them decide how they're going to vote, you did your part by registering them, which gets people more involved. And I believe that sometimes when you just simply get people more involved, they're going to find the information that leads their hearts in ways. Hopefully, they find information that you're purveying, you know. But you know, it's still in all though. It's a sense of responsibility of community, and I really think if we get more people involved, that our country will go in the right direction, simply because people involved have an investment in their community of responsibility and action. And I like that.
Thank you.
So how can people get a hold of you? How can people find you if they want you to come and speak and do an event? Which I will tell you, and I gotta say, you know, Scott has been very, very gracious. It's an honor to interview him today, and he's very calm in this video, which I love seeing this side of him. But I'm gonna tell you, when you see his event in person, he is so fired up and so energetic, and he really, he has, it just shows the fact that in his calmness now to be able to get this information out to you. But boy, when you see him in person, you will not only appreciate the fact that he came to your town to see you and give out his information, but you'll be motivated by his energy. So Scott, tell us, how do people find you?
I can't do that 24/7.
Yeah, you can't do it 24/7.
I'm on everything. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Parler, Gab, Telegram, and everything is all at Scott Presler, SCOTTPRESLER. My website's scottpresler.org, but I just haven't even had the opportunity to fix it up. So it's very old. And if you want me to come speak at an event, you can reach out to me. Probably the best is on Twitter. If you send me a direct message, my DMs are open, or you can reach out to me on Facebook. But this year, with the exception of November and December, are completely booked. So every weekend from now until November, I'm going to 26, 27 different states this year alone. And And so the way that I do things is I don't charge a speaking fee ever. I never ask for money. I ask for my travel and my lodging. So if I have a flight to get out there, and if I have a place to stay, I don't stay in fancy hotels. If somebody wants to be generous enough to open their home to me and I can cuddle with their animals, then I've done that.
You were a dog walker, so.
I've slept in RVs, bunk beds. You know, I've done a little bit of everything. So, but I'm here to work. I'm here to win. And you know, and I don't want to just go around the country having people clap and cheer for me. That doesn't do anything but boost my ego. I want to train, teach, and empower the ordinary, average American citizen how he or she can actually impact positive change. And that's my goal.
I absolutely love that. What better way to have a sense of responsibility for and help others get motivated than teach them all these things that you're going to do that, you know, with. That really is amazing. So the best way, I guess, since you're booked up for so long, is that between now and then, if they want to see you, they got to check your social media, find out where you are, and travel to see you.
On my Twitter and Telegram and everything. So yes, I'll put my entire schedule on there. I'll update it as soon as I get home to DC. And absolutely, if you're within, you know, an hour, hour and a half, come. And ultimately, why this is beneficial is not only to receive the tools for how to get out the vote, but my goal is I want to be a connector where a lot of people feel isolated. And so I bring them together. And I say, look, these are all the people right here in your community that you can connect with, that you can organize with. And everyone afterwards, you saw it, is so high energy, inspired. You know, they feel like they're ready to take on the world.
I know everybody there left that last night's event, you know, and the night before that, we had 2 events. So I know that when everybody who leaves the events, they're exchanging numbers, they're feeling motivated, and they're looking for that next feeling of how to act upon their new sense of responsibility that you, Scott Presler, have given them. Scott, before we part, are there any last words you want to say to about anybody else?
That's it. I just want you guys to do something, and I want you to treat 2022 as seriously as you did the presidential election, and I want you to vote.
Scott, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time. Everybody else, please share this video with as many people as you can, because the best way to save our country, build back our communities, save our communities, and teach a sense of responsibility is by learning from somebody who's actively doing it, and you'll see from him how easy it is. And again, share it with somebody that might need this motivation, and please check out his social media accounts and like them, share them, subscribe, because if you really believe in our country, the best way to save it is to get involved. Thank you so much and have a great day.